Hello everyone, welcome to Conversations with Sakeina. Today we are going to do a walkthrough of the ViceVersa Tarot. So it might be a little bit longer because we have two sides to every card here. So after this walkthrough, after you see each and every card, I am going to shuffle them up really good and ask Sakeina what her take on this deck is, what she thinks of it. So stay tuned for that. So let's get started with this ViceVersa Tarot. As you can see, it's got a good solid box. It's one of those magnetic boxes. And it shows on the bottom here that it retailed for, see if I can get it to focus, $31.95. And it is Lo Scarabeo, but done not with the tiny white book, but quite a large book actually. So on the back, it shows the back side of the Fool card, and on the front it shows the front side of the Fool card. So that's kind of what we're looking at here in this deck. So let's just get started. We're not going to read the back or anything like that. We're just going to open it up, and we have kind of a flourished looking cover, and I really like the side that's covered up by the magnetic flap, but it really is quite appealing and no color. So here we have the book, and it is 160 pages, I believe it said. Yes, it did. And it is all color. So the pictures are all in color, and even the minor arcana cards are in color, and we'll look at that here shortly. We have the ribbon as per always, and there's a card in here that is just a card that says it's a Lo Scarabeo, and some of it is in, I guess it's all in English. So this is done by, and this is where I'm a little confused here. It shows on here Massimiliano Filodoro, artwork by David Corsi. And on the cover of the book, it says Linnea Weatherstone. And that's who I'm assuming created this book. The cards maybe are the Massimiliano Filodoro, and that may not even be a name. So anyway, this particular deck I did get at a discount on eBay, in the box, the whole thing, and the person that I purchased it from said that it was basically near brand new, and they were correct. I mean, the book is in pristine condition, the box is wonderful, and when I opened the deck, or when I opened the box, someone had done this. Must have been someone learning. So they wrote on the front side of all of the major arcana cards with marker. Not always neatly. Some of the words for the major arcana are quite long. So I did contact the person who I purchased this deck from, this used deck, and asked them if they were aware. And of course, they never bothered when they received the deck. They just saw how good it was and assumed that all the cards were there. and did not see that someone had marked on them. I kept the cards. It's not going to affect my reading any. I just wanted to let that buyer, or excuse me, that seller know that when they do get a used deck, it's good to go through the cards just in case, so they don't have problems later on. So here we have ViceVersa Tarot, and this guidebook shows in the table of contents the introduction, the language of symbols, using the cards, then goes through the major arcana, the minor arcana, the court cards, and then symbols. Now I'm going to show you with the introduction. Let's see, make sure it's the introduction. We will have 156 cards we are actually looking at, so 78 fronts and backs. So the introduction to this, I am going to read it. I think it's very enlightening. It says, there is an expression on the hand and on the other hand. It's a way we consider different sides of a situation and the possible ways of approaching it. On the one hand, buying a new car could eliminate the worry that we might be stranded if the old one breaks down. On the other hand, buying a new car could add a worry about making the car payment. Like putting weights on a jeweler's scale, we consider one side, then the other side, back and forth, until a balanced clarity is achieved. In doing a tarot reading, we often choose a different card for each point of view. The ViceVersa Tarot brings the one hand and the other hand approach to each individual card. Until fairly recently in the history of tarot, divination was limited to prediction or to sniffing out secrets. Will I get married? Will I prosper in my career? Who is blocking my progress? What is he really thinking? A psychological slant on divination is a more modern addition to the tarot toolbox, reflecting Western societal shifts. So, for example, rather than asking, will I get married, we might ask the cards, am I ready to get married? What compromises would marriage bring? What would it be like to stay single? We've added why and how to the old questions of what and who. Looking at things from only one point of view is far too limiting for our complex modern age. Technology has brought the other hand to our attention. We are evolving from a mindset that something must be either right or wrong, good or bad, now or never. That is two-dimensional thinking in a three-dimensional world. We are learning that big problems can't be solved by just looking at one side. One might think that tarot is a two-dimensional tool. After all, the cards are flat. The images on the cards are static, set, and settled. A moment in time and space is captured and frozen by the tarot artist, and it is the task of the tarot reader to extrapolate meaning from the card symbols. The ViceVersa Tarot adds another dimension to the familiar cards. Rather than just one image for each card, this deck offers two. At first glance, it might seem to be simply the front view and the back view of the same scene, but it is so much more. Imagine a card lying flat on a table. The two-dimensional image is what it is. You read the card as a single concept. Now imagine a tarot card floating in the air before your eyes, turning slowly and revealing an alternate view. An additional element comes into play as the symbols morph and blend and contrast. An unexpected depth that moves beyond linear interpretation. In a typical tarot deck, a card can be drawn upright or reversed, upside down, and many readers interpret upright and reversed cards differently. If you're familiar with the tarot, it may be tempting to use the ViceVersa Tarot in a similar way. The front side being positive and the back side negative. In other words, the two sides contradicting each other. Instead, take a clue from the deck's title. The Latin phrase vice versa means the other way around, not better or worse. For example, many of the cards show a daytime view and a nighttime view. The energies and metaphorical meanings of day and night differ, but one isn't better than the other. As with the Chinese concept of yin and yang, the two sides make up the whole. When you work with the cards, look for visual pairs, such as, see if I can get it to focus, day and night, outside, inside, dry, wet, warm, cool, open, closed, dawn, dusk. Then consider more abstract examples of vice versa pairs: active, passive, conscious, unconscious, solar, lunar, material, spiritual, temporal, eternal, personal, universal, known, and unknown. Finding such pairs represented on the two sides of the card is an exercise in expanding your symbolism vocabulary. You are like the vice versa tarot cards yourself. You have your outer self and inner self, your public face and private face, your light and shadow. These aspects make up the human spirit in all its complexity. So that was their way of sharing with you somewhat how to use the cards. But they go on to give you an exercise as well to give you the opportunity to put what they shared here into action. So when you go to the major and minor cards, we have this side for this. And then on the next page with the major arcana, you have that side. And it gives information on each one. When you get to the minor arcana, we have this side and that side on the same page. And it goes through all of the different suits. And in this case, we do have pentacles. They started with chalices or cups. They're calling them chalices. Went to pentacles, went to wands, and then went to swords. And then they did do court cards separately from the suits, so they're not right behind. You can just go straight to the court cards to look up all of the cards. And again, chalices, pentacles, wands, and swords. And the very, very back. Now, I have noticed that there are no spreads. They did not offer spreads, but they do offer symbols such as the acacia tree, overcoming death, resurrection, amphora, the vessel of cosmic energy, apple, a symbol of Venus, knowledge freely chosen, and it goes for about, we'll just say 2 pages, because we could put that at the top of this one and it'd be 2 pages. So that's kind of a nice addition. So there is the book, and we will probably do at least one card out of the book so you can see how it actually reads. But let's get started on the cards themselves. So we have the Fool, and I will do my best to get these to focus. And the Magician. Now it focuses. So if you notice, when you go to view this video, that there's some choppy bits, or it looks like I've been chopping at it. It's just, I will try to chop out if it takes me a long time to get things to focus. The High Priestess. The Empress. The Emperor. The Hierophant. the Lovers, the Chariot, notice on this one that they have the rune over here, and they also have the sign of Cancer on his cape. Little bits and pieces of information through symbolism. And we have the Strength card. And as you can see, very much Rider-Waite-Smith. The Hermit, Wheel of Fortune, Justice, there's the Virgo symbol on the floor, the Hanged Man, Death, sorry, I'm trying to see what this one image is here in the back on this card. Okay, it's a ballerina or a girl doing kind of like a ballet pose, and she is naked. Okay. Just couldn't tell just by looking at it like that. So that's what it is. And then we have Temperance. The Devil. The Tower. The Star. The Moon. And notice on the moon we have this as the moon, and then we have the lunar eclipse. The Sun. Judgment. The World. Okay, so that's making it through the major arcanas. Now we have the cups, and what we'll see here is that the number, what is considered, or what I would consider the front side of the card, or the first one that they show in the book side by side with the other side, would be the number on the right and the symbol on the left. So here we have the Ace of Cups. And of course, when we flipped it over, the numbers change. And the symbol changes. The Two of Cups. Three of Cups. Four of Cups. Interesting with this one, a lot of the illustrations, they're, supposed to be real people, but you can tell that they're cartoony in a way. or not cartoony, but drawn. Look at these cups. They look so real. Kind of amazing. And the other side of the Four of Cups. Five of Cups. This is a good example here. We see him kneeling and we see these 3 cups spilled. And then when we flip it over, we can see the 2 that are here, we can see from the other side. Six of Cups. Seven of Cups. Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. Nine of Cups. Ten of Cups. Page of Cups. You will see the helmet over here for the page. Then we have the Knight of Cups, and you will see again, kind of like a chess board. Hold on. There we go. Kind of like a chess board. We have the horse for the Knight of Cups. Queen of Cups. On the right hand side we have a crown. and the King of Cups. A little more elaborate crown on the right side. The dolphin. Ace of Pentacles. That'll be a chopped part. Having such a difficult time focusing that one. Two of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. Now this looks like outside the church, inside the church. Six of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Ace of Wands, Two of Wands, Three of Wands, Four of Wands, Five of Wands, Six of Wands, Seven of Wands, Eight of Wands, Nine of Wands, Ten of Wands, Page of Wands, Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands, King of Wands, last suit, Ace of Swords, Two of Swords, Three of Swords, Four of Swords, Five of Swords, Six of Swords, Seven of Swords, Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, Page of Swords, Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, and the King of Swords. Okay, so we've made it through all the cards. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull one at random and read you what it's like in the book so you have some idea how the book works and how it reads. And then we're going to have a discussion here. We have decent cardstock here, but it is a little on the shiny side, as you can see from the light hitting it. Both sides are that way. For some people, that is something they don't care for. Personally, I like it because I shuffle better this way. But it is good cardstock. And that's another thing to bring up is, how do you shuffle cards that have pictures on both sides? Well, it's a matter of just doing it. I don't pay any attention as I'm shuffling. These are a little bit stiff. Yeah, these are a little hard for me to riffle shuffle. My hands really aren't that big. But I prefer to shuffle in a sideways manner or in this manner. And no matter what I do today, I'm all over the place. So, like, you know, this way they slide very well. And again, this way, they aren't bad for shuffling in a sideways manner, but I have a difficult time doing it as a riffle shuffle. And they would get looser. I mean, they are bendable and they do snap back. So for someone with a little bigger hands, this might work out really well. So let's just pull one at random here. And we have the Eight of Wands. So let's take a look at that in the book. Took me a while to find it. Okay. So as you can see, we have this side and we have this side. So this side, it says, unlike most of the minor arcana cards, this one does not tell a story as such. The wands simply appear as a portent on their own. 8 wands fly across a fair sky above a wooded landscape. Because the top of the wands is the part that is leafy, we know these wands are coming down to the earth, not flying upward. Like thrown spears or arrows in formation, the wands are heading toward their target. When you get this side in a reading, this card is a sign of something incoming, often a message or some information that will assist you in your endeavor. If you are waiting for news, you won't have to wait much longer. The card can also mean that things are speeding up. A blockage of some sort may have given way so that the events will unfold more quickly now. Don't be caught off guard. And then the other side, or as they put it, that side, which would be the darker side here, the same wands shoot through the air going in the opposite direction. Okay, so as we see, the leaves are on heading down towards the earth. They're still heading down towards the earth, but they're going the opposite way. The fair sky of day has become a night sky blasted by lightning. Looking past the wands, we see Pegasus, the winged horse who brings lightning from Olympus to warn or to punish, according to the whims of the gods. The greenery that tips the wands may be shriveling and dying, or that could just be a trick of the light. When you get this side in a reading, something you sent out into the world is coming back at you. If you have been careful to only put out energy and activity that you would like to receive, then you don't have anything to worry about. But if you have behaved unethically, whether through word or deed, fix it fast, or Pegasus will fix it for you. So that is what they mean by this side and that side. And it is pretty in-depth. I mean, at least they give you some information of what's on the card and why. Now, I don't know if they go real in-depth with symbolism other than the symbols in the back. But that would be something for you to explore if this is a deck that you would like to purchase at some point and give a try. Okay, so now I'm going to go off camera for a few minutes and I'm going to shuffle really, really well, and I will pull a few cards to see what Sakeina's take on this deck is. Stay tuned. Okay, I think I have them fairly well shuffled, and we'll be shuffling a little bit more here anyway because Sakeina does her readings with me with jumpers. So, Sakeina, could you please send out a card to let us know what your take on this deck, ViceVersa Tarot, is? What do you think of this deck? Okay. We have two cards here. We have the Seven of Cups and we have the Ten of Swords. So let's see. Here, I think she's saying there's an awful lot of choices here. Awful lot of choices that might kind of send some people into a bit of a tizzy. And I think she's saying here that there's also some people who might absolutely give up on being able to read cards like this because there are so many choices. However, if we look at this guy here, you could consider this your guidebook. He's maybe the guidebook looking, or he could also be a spirit guide. And if you listen to your spirit guide, you might be able to have a little inclination or a little clue. Obviously, Sakeina is my spirit guide, and she's, saying, what are you giving up for? Yeah, there's a lot of choices, but you know what? You can do this. You can complete this mental activity. And you don't have to go into a tizzy over it. I'm here to help you. With the help of the guide, obviously these choices are not as overwhelming, but they will be if these cards are attempted on your own. So I'd say from this card, she's saying she really likes them. She likes the fact that there's a lot of choices. She likes the fact that the cards will have multiple meanings. But, she's also saying you might want to call on your guides to give you a helping hand. Allow your guides to boost your intuition as well. So there you have it. That is Sakeina's take on these cards. And I feel like she's saying great cards, but you need a little help probably, not just from the book, but also from your guides. Or your guides. Okay, that is it for the ViceVersa Tarot. I hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough. I know it was long. Can't help it when you have two sides of the card, but I hope that you can make an informed decision now if this deck would be one that you would like to work with. So until next time, take care.